Welcome to Days Behind, where we unveil the trivia and stories behind holidays and national days. Imagine a map from the late 1400s. It shows Europe, Africa, Asia. But a vast empty ocean stretches to the west. This was the world as most Europeans knew it. They believed the sea held mysteries and dangers. Few dared to sail far from the sight of land. It was a time of great curiosity and bold exploration. People were beginning to wonder what lay beyond the horizon. The idea of reaching the rich lands of the East by sailing west was a radical one, a dream held by only a handful of determined individuals. In 1492, 3 small ships set out on a remarkable journey: Niña, Pinta, Santa Maria. They sailed from Spain, heading west into that great unknown Atlantic Ocean. Their leader was an Italian navigator named Christopher Columbus. His goal was to find a new sea route to Asia. He believed the world was smaller than it truly is. This journey across the ocean would change the world forever. It was a moment that connected continents that had been separate for thousands of years.
Christopher Columbus was a man of great ambition. He was born in Genoa, Italy in 1451. From a young age, he was drawn to the sea. He became an expert sailor. He became a map maker. He learned about the winds. He learned about the currents of the Mediterranean. He learned about the currents of the Atlantic coast. He read books by famous travelers like Marco Polo. These stories filled his mind with visions of faraway lands. They filled his mind with visions of incredible wealth. He was a deeply religious man. He believed God had chosen him for a special purpose, to spread Christianity to new parts of the world. Columbus had a very specific idea. He wanted to sail west to get to the east. Trade with Asia was difficult and expensive. Merchants traveled over land facing deserts. They crossed mountains. They faced hostile territories. Columbus proposed a daring alternative. He spent nearly a decade trying to convince European rulers to fund him. Most thought his calculations were wrong. His persistence was remarkable. Finally, Queen Isabella, King Ferdinand of Spain, they agreed to help him. They gave him 3 ships and a crew of about 90 men with orders to claim lands and bring back wealth and trade. For weeks they saw nothing but water. The sea was calm one day and stormy the next. As time passed, the sailors grew anxious. They were farther from home than any of them had ever been. Columbus had to keep their spirits up, promising them riches and glory. He carefully managed his ship logs, sometimes showing the crew different charts to make the distance they had traveled seem shorter, all to prevent a potential mutiny. On the night of October 11th, 1492, Columbus thought he saw a flickering light in the distance. Then, around 2 a.m. on October 12th, a sailor named Rodrigo de Triana, perched high on the mast of the Pinta, shouted the long-awaited words,
"Tierra, tierra, land had been sighted."
Columbus and his crew had reached an island in what we now call the Bahamas. Columbus named the island San Salvador, which means Holy Savior. They knelt on the sand and gave thanks to God for their safe arrival. Soon the native inhabitants appeared, the Lucayan people, a branch of the Taino. Columbus described them as peaceful and generous. He offered small gifts like red caps and glass beads. It represents the beginning of a massive exchange of people, plants, animals, diseases, and ideas between the old world of Europe and the new world of the Americas. This process, known as the Columbian Exchange, would fundamentally and permanently reshape the ecology and cultures of the entire planet.
A day of many names. The way we remember Columbus's arrival is different all around the world. In the United States, it became a federal holiday called Columbus Day. It is traditionally observed on the second Monday of October. For many Italian Americans, it is a day of pride, with parades and festivals honoring heritage. In Spain, October 12th is Fiesta Nacional de España, marked by national pride and a large parade in Madrid. Many countries in Latin America observe Dia de la Raza, celebrating mixed heritage. Some places renamed the day to honor indigenous survival and struggle. In recent years in the US, Indigenous Peoples Day has gained popularity, celebrated on the same date. It honors the history, culture, and resilience of Native American, Alaska Native, and other indigenous communities. Many cities and states now officially adopt Indigenous Peoples Day. This shows a growing desire to acknowledge a fuller, more complex history. The story of Columbus is not a simple one. For centuries, he was seen mostly as a hero. But for many indigenous peoples, his arrival marked conquest, violence, disease, and loss. Ultimately, the day holds multiple meanings and invites reflection on history.